Hello gamers, and welcome back into Timberborn for our Iron Teeth playthrough on Oasis on hard. I spent some time looking around before I started this episode and wrote down some notes to hopefully keep myself a little bit more focused and keep the episode going a little bit more smoothly. So our main objective for this episode is to tap this bad water source and integrate this with the rest of the dam. The issue with that is that, go to water, the bad water discharge costs 4,000 science, which is a lot. So initially, I think the thought is to put in another number cruncher in here, and we'll need some more power back here. Right now, if we pause this... Oh, it's already paused. Okay, so we have enough supply, but when this gets running, this is expensive. This costs a lot of horsepower. 750, I believe. 700. So we won't have enough power to power this fully when we need it. And we want to make sure that that is getting sufficient power so that we can fill up this reservoir as much as possible. So we'll add another steam engine in here. And we'll have to... I mean, it's not the end of the world if we forget to pause this, because it's just logs. We are doing well on logs. We've got a lot of logs. So... speaking of that, this guy needs to be reactivated. And the number cruncher is going to cost... where is it? It is 500 horsepower and 1,500 science. So our science number is still going up. We've still got some inventors ticking away. In terms of our jobs, I think we can pause the builders' huts for now, get some catch up on our hauling. And I think it's time to also reduce the working hours. Our colony has gotten quite a bit larger, and I'm noticing a lot of hungry and thirsty beavers walking around all the time. They are not getting sufficient time in the evening to do their social life and eat and drink. So it's time to give them a more reasonable schedule. And I also had a great comment about modifying this a little bit. And how much is the beaver statue? 500 science. That's going to set us back quite a bit. But if we get the well-being up just a little bit more, sometimes we're getting there, but we can get this life expectancy buff, which is going to help with our population. We'll get more population. And people were saying I don't need this pathway, but I mean, there's a lot of people using it. I don't know. Because they can get through on the bottom layer, but let's say this guy gets pathed to this back scratcher. Now, instead of just going this way, he's got to go all the way around. So it's a little bit longer. Perhaps it's still worth adding some more decor and some medical beds up here between these. I would like to do that. Let's go ahead and... Man, I do want that beaver statue, but I don't know if I can justify spending 500 science, so we'll leave this area for later. I don't have the science I don't have the science to spare on that at the moment. Also, I forgot, I talked about putting this farmhouse on harvest, and I never clicked on it. I like to have at least one house prioritized for harvesting. I feel like that just makes things a little bit smoother. they end up getting to more of these distant crops more easily when we've got one farmhouse just focusing on farming, or harvesting rather. The other thing is to monitor how this is going. I think it's time to speed this up. Oh, right. I wanted to say one more thing. So right now, we're at about 10 days and about 1 depth of water here. So that'll give us a good idea of what the evaporation rate is. 10 days on the drought, 1 tile of water. That should give us a way to calculate the average evaporation. So we'll note that, and hopefully I'll remember to check this water level right before this ticks over. So that is convenient. Okay, get this sped up again. And we will need some extract going for this. I think just 1 beaver in here is gonna be fine. And I talked about increasing extract storage, and then I never did so. We would like some more extract storage. Where to put it? Kind of like the idea of actually getting rid of this extract tank here. Putting in, I could put another small storage in right here. What would I like right here? I don't quite know what this is gonna be yet, but we'll put it in for now. We'll put another spiral staircase up here. Cool. And we'll put our extract storage here. What is that gonna be? So we've already got pretty good. We've got planks over here for this, we've got the bad water here for them. More scrap metal. This also requires logs, so let's give them some logs right here. Probably should have rotated that. Whatever. It's fine for now. Awesome. We've got a little bit more extract storage. That'll help out with this dynamite project we've got going on. And we want to set this one to obtain. Come on, let me click on it. Oh, there you are. Obtain. Cool. We're getting close for our number cruncher. Just 500 more science. We will get there shortly. This is whirring away. It doesn't need to be right now. And we've got a nice spot for the number cruncher right over here. Right, slots right in there. That's super, that's great. Like that. It's a good little spot for it. Totally unplanned, but you know, we love when that kind of stuff works out. Double check what our demand is during the day. And I'm liking the setup. I'm hoping that this pump bottleneck is not too severe. I think longer term, there's more we can do to optimize this, because it really is underutilized at the moment. But just getting things sorted for these longer droughts is nice and helpful. This guy's going again. And I thought I had all this. Oh, the other thing I'd like to do is, I know I was complaining about how when we power this during a bad tide, we're just wasting the 200 horsepower for no reason. But it occurred to me that I could put in some water wheels along here, and now when we power this, it can be essentially self-powered. However, we can spare the energy right now. This doesn't require very much power. So yeah, because once all these get going, as soon as we get our workers in there, we can check our, yeah, so even with this powered, it's not doing anything right now. We're still not quite hitting our, we're still fine on our supply. So I'm okay with not spending the resources quite yet until we get maybe some batteries, maybe link all the grid together. That can be a longer term goal. But for now, I'm okay with a split grid. Now, I thought I had all this stuff to talk about, and I'm already through with most of the things. I also want to start getting in a tubeway network once we get the science for it, because, as I was saying, this is really far away. But what will help us with this travel time, more than splitting this district up, and now I have to have haulers and people working in the district crossing, and actually I don't remember if that's how district crossings work anymore. It's changed since I last bothered to use districts. But then we gotta get housing over here, we gotta get them water and food and et cetera, and I don't want to deal with having a second district over here. Maybe later, but for now, we're just going to keep this as one district and increase our productivity by putting in some tubeways once we have the science for that. That altogether will cost, what, 1,800 science? And this guy is out of bad water. I can actually, I think it's time to move this a little further in, because we're going to need to eventually pump all this out anyway. So if we move one of these to here, then we can get all the way to the bottom, and that's going to allow us to clean this up for when we integrate this. So that'll go in. Why won't it go in there? What's the issue? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. This is all fine for now. It's a little bit further away. I could put, why not? Let's put another storage a little closer. Cool. So that gives us access to more bad water in the interim until we can figure out what we want to do over here. I'm thinking a tubeway station like here, and then they can just walk over to this bad water. Or maybe I'll put in another tubeway. And then I've got to figure out how I want to get through here. It'd be nice to have a more direct route. Maybe I use some platforms to come up over this. And this scrap metal pile can go away, actually. Don't need it. How are we doing on our scrap metal? We got plenty. These guys are not doing anything, so we'll pause one. We're not actually working the metal factory. Let's get that going again. Get our metal up. And maybe think about adding even more storage. Where do I want to put some more storage? Maybe another medium warehouse here for more gear storage. Gears are pretty important. And then could put another warehouse in here for some more metal. Okay. That gives us some more place to store our goods we're producing. We could get up even again with another spiral staircase. Or up over here. That's not a bad idea. These spiral staircases make so many more possibilities, which is really, really quite cool. And we'll put platform, and I can squeeze something else right down here. I could, I mean, I can put a small storage in there. I can put a lot of small storages in here, actually. So in that case, if this is going to be relegated to small storages anyway, platforms are fine. Maybe more planks in here. It's always good to have a good supply of planks. We can even get one more storage in right here for like that. Could be another small storage. It's fine. Or what? More logs? Yeah, more logs. Okay, that'll expand our industrial capabilities. Or at least storage for what we're doing. And 0.2 days left. Let's check our stream gauge. So we were at one depth at 10 days left. A little shy. So let's say, since we were a little shy, that this is 0.45. So that means in 10 days we've gone 0.45, which is what I was saying, 0.045 per day. So that's good news. And that is awesome. We've got plenty of water here. And now I also wanted to talk a little bit about how these sluice gates are set up. It's this one's on auto because we don't want the bad water coming in here. And then this one's just set to open because it's only going to be good water in here. And we want this open so that this can actually help us fill. Why isn't this going? I didn't pause it, right? What's going on? Shouldn't this be working? Oh, it just hadn't started. Okay, it hadn't started giving water yet. So, yes, we want this pumping out here, but I believe it can't handle how much flow is actually coming from this. I'm unsure. Without going into dev mode, I don't know how much this produces. But since this can't handle the full flow, we can just get this moving through, and now this is going to be able to help us fill this up to 0.8 of a tile, since it can just pass through here, and this will get us up the rest of the way, hopefully. We'll see how well it does through this temperate season. And we've got enough science for our number cruncher, so let's put that in. Right there. And we'll prioritize that because the rest of this stuff is not as critical. So now we're hoping for 4,000 science. So I know I could pause these inventors now that we're getting this number cruncher online, but since we still need a lot of science, I think I'll just keep them working. We'll get more beavers going soon to fill these vacancies. How are we doing on our power? Power demands are high because our pump needs the power now. And we are not giving it. We need another engine in here. We do. So let's get that prepared. Right there is fine. Oh, and look at that. That's nice for our path. And now we have a nice 4 wide or 4 long spot for either another smelter. Explosives factory might be the thing to put in here because we're gonna need a lot of explosives. We're already, yeah, I mean, this is a lot of explosives. So it makes sense to get more explosives going. This is done over here. We got our number cruncher churning out science all day, all night. That's awesome. This is getting enough power at nighttime, but during the day it doesn't have enough when we've got the rest of our industry running. So we got to prioritize this as well. We should have, don't have enough gears. Yeah, that's another thing that I'd like to potentially slot in here as another gear workshop. So, gear workshop or explosives factory in this spot? It's a good question. We'll have enough gears to get this done pretty soon. What is more critical for us? I think right now the explosives are a little more mission critical. So I think another explosives factory is in order. And that's going to increase our power needs again, which means we need another engine, which means we need more gears. So it's just, you know, that's just how it is. Okay, explosives factory. Let's put that in. That needs gears. Of course it does. In that case, boy, do we just do the gears first? Gears first or factory first? It makes sense to do another gear factory. Let's do another gear factory or gear workshop, because then it's close to the planks. It's close to everything that's going on there. And we'll just need to adjust our path yet again. Let's get another engine. And we'll get an explosives factory in right here. Whoop, there we go. Our number cruncher has kind of messed up our spacing. We'll just have to be upset about that. And we've got these unused tiles. I think later on, once we build up a stock, we can kind of switch some of this stuff around. Okay, we have a bad tide. That's fine. I wanted actually a bad tide so I could figure out what's going on with all this other stuff. So this bad water is filling and moving out this way. I was talking about damming this up here. The problem I realized is not if I dam this up here, the bad water has nowhere to go. So it'll just start messing everything up. So if we do dam this up here, we need to give the bad water another way to exit. What is the way to do that? Yeah, we need to give the bad water another way to exit. So we could like go through here and dump it into this channel, and then it comes down here, and we don't care about that. That's an option. Just dynamite all of this down to here. Yeah, that's probably the way to go. Looks like the easiest way to get off the map. Okay. We can start. Okay, so in terms of other bad water flow, do we have bad water coming from here? It doesn't look like it's flowing this direction. It's like it's just filling this up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, bad water coming from there. How far did we get up on this? Yeah, this is not getting high enough as I want it to. So that's probably a function of, okay, it's got enough power. Well, that's because probably it's nighttime. We may need to add another pump here. It's looking pretty likely. So that will be a redesign to consider during a drought. Yeah, that's a bummer, because now this is gonna look way more ugly. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, we're gonna have to like delete this probably so that we can have levees in there. I should have just put levees in there to begin with. Luckily these aren't crazy expensive, so we'll only lose a little bit of materials. And I'm not too concerned about losing materials. They're essentially infinite. You just have to produce the, you know, wood's easy to get, bad water's easy to get. You know, it's materials are meant to be spent. Got this dude in the gear workshop. Cool. We need some more little storages around. At least a bad water storage over here. Bad water. Tame. And then it'd be nice if you had a place to put your explosives when you're done. Warehouse, supply, okay. Right on. Now this isn't getting irrigated anymore. I am not sure why that is. Because essentially we shouldn't have really changed anything about how this irrigation works, but I could be wrong. Okay, 0.4 of a day left. We're at point, you know, we're actually pretty good on this. Depending on the length of this bad tide, this should be just fine. And see, because yeah, it's only getting 67% of its power needs. Probably because this isn't on. Okay, let's hold on a second. So for this, it shouldn't be letting any bad water through now. Okay. Yeah. Now this should automatically turn off. Yep. Sweet. So the issue will be when the season transition happens, we'll have to let this bad water out so that this can start producing again. I might just test and see, hey, if I just let it out right here when the season transitions, is that going to be enough volume? It should be enough volume to get this flowing again. The release of enough volume of water. Bad tide, right. This is still the same. Yeah. Okay, 1.5k science. We still need a little bit more for our cap there. And the dynamite is going quite slowly. I mean, it's low priority. We should have blown this during the last wet season. That was a mistake. And they're not getting that dynamite done because we're giving them a bunch of other work to do. Probably don't need as many of these engines powered now that this is paused. We'll see. Well, actually, we do have a pretty high demand, huh? This doesn't count you, right? Doesn't. Okay, so we're just meeting our demand. And once we get this in, that's going to change things. Now it's at this point that linking our power grid would make a lot of sense. Because if we put in some water wheels, those will give 119. That is not bad. It's, you know, put in a few power wheels here. How are we going to connect them up? Something like this. I don't really want to blow this. Yeah, that's fine for now, because they can still get around and do the rest of it. And that allows me to go to triple platform. Yeah, go on, 200 science. Just don't want these going quite yet, because then they won't be able to build platforms. Okay, so that'll get it hooked in to here. Okay. Now we need to hook this in to here. Time for some more tunnels. So, power, what level is this at? So, landscaping, tunnel, just one is fine. Yeah, right to there. Okay, easy enough. Okay, that'll get our power network connected once they start building these. Let's prioritize those. And our explosives factory is in and working. That's good. How's our power doing now? Yeah, oh, no. I was reading this wrong, probably. Yeah, I was probably reading this wrong. Oh, maybe one of these engines wasn't powered up before, because we had 1600 before. So we're good, we're good. We're producing excess power. Is it worth turning one of these off? Nah, probably. Yeah, the problem with having the engines connected to the number cruncher is now the engines think they need to be powered up all the time. That wastes some logs. But I'm not too worried. We've got good log income. Yeah, we got great log income. So wasting a little bit of power, a little bit of a few logs is not the end of the world. Our berry gatherer is just sitting around. I'm just going to keep him going. I am not sure if this is enough berries to keep these breeding pods going. It looks like it is, because he's not able to harvest them all. And our storage is full. So I think, but I you know, the fewer guys we need to remember to micromanage, the fewer catastrophes we're going to have. And, okay, we were focusing on this. Can you all, you guys probably can't get down here. No, you can't. But you could if we went around here and put in a staircase right here. And then this is done. So, power shaft. Do it from this direction, so hopefully we don't get anybody trapped. That was a close one. Ooh, and do something like that. We just need to prioritize this because now we've disconnected everything. Okay, tip-top priority. Get that done. I would really love, if devs, if somehow you're listening, I would really love a hotkey to get to demolish buildings. That would be sweet. I don't believe there's a hotkey to get to that tool. I know you can use backspace or delete, but a hotkey to just get to the tool would be really nice. Come on, guys. We need to get our pumpers back. Thank you. And those they can get to just fine, actually, so I didn't really need to do that. Get our last power shaft in there. Sweet. That goes all the way here, then to here. Let's get that done. Yeah, they can do all of this. Can they get to these? Yep. Yeah, they can. These, no. But once the stairs are in, they will be. Awesome. I think they can build all this stuff. Yeah. Okay. 3.6. We are almost there. 300 gears. Holy moly. Forgot how expensive this is. 200 metal, 300 gears. Oof. Yay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Does that justify another gear workshop? You know what? I think it does. Wow. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna have to do these in a similar way with priority tool. Okay. Good. Build this one first, please. Don't trap, don't trap. Okay. Ooh, that was close. That was really close. Ah. Okay. Should be able, yeah, they can get to that. Cool. Now, finally, our power's all connected. Yeah. We're getting a little extra power from these. Cool. All right, put in some more right here. Do I want to? Don't. I feel that I'm going to reroute this, so I don't want to spend the energy on it right now. $4.5K. We have enough to start putting the bad water discharge in. Or yeah, that's what it's called. So let's unlock that. Now we need to be able to get there. So... that'll get us there. And our bad water income's probably not enough to keep the extract and both explosives factories running. So let's get another beaver in there. How are we gonna get up here? Because I want to dynamite those down. It's not the end of the world if I don't. And I forgot that I was gonna dynamite all this down. I feel that's not as critical at the moment. Do I just have the path coming up here? Tempting. Rather than going through this reservoir. Tempting for sure. And maybe what we do is we spend some dynamite to just get this road down right here. And then we'll just have this path that goes through. straight. Cool. So our reservoir did great in that bad tide. Still at almost a full tile. And getting this back up and running, we'll see how that does. The other option is just let all the bad water out, contaminate this a little bit. So, but I think with this little release valve here, that'll just get the water flowing again pretty quick. So, and then it'll evaporate away. So now we're back up to 1.2k science. That's good. I want to redesign this area now with a little bit more decor. So let's just actually wait for their nighttime. I definitely want to unlock the beaver statue. 20 metal, that's pretty expensive. And if I put them up there, yeah, then it'll hit all of the housing. Okay, bad tide ended. We have got to say, this is closed below contamination 1, but we'll just say, hey, open up. Give us a little bit of room to get some water flowing back in here. The issue isn't, yeah, this isn't quite gonna work because this is probably too contaminated to let water out, huh? Okay, so just let it out, and we'll just pump a little bit of contamination in. Yeah. Now it can go back to auto. And that's gonna be like 1%. Yeah, who cares? It's fine. Okay. Before their nighttime, let's put that, kill that path. Get rid of that path. And we'll want beaver statues there and there. Cool. And then we're talking about maybe some medical beds up here. Don't have a lot of injuries right now. How many medical beds do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which aren't going to stay here. Some medical beds in here would be fine. Sure, let's do that for now. Just put in these two so that they can still build the statues. And we'll just pause these so that they can build the statues. Nice. We can put in a couple more things down here. Are we getting enough back scratching? Are we getting enough back scratching? Where is that? Fun. Not really. We don't have enough. So we can put a couple more back scratchers in right here. I think that's fine. Now that makes me wish I had used single height platforms and then I could slot in something else right there. But that's all right. Cool. Time to blow some more stuff up. Let's make some more room for water here. We can make more room for water here. And what are you guys building? Oh, they're doing this, right? Okay. Dynamite. Oh, crap. I didn't see that they didn't get these two. Well, that's okay. They can still get over there. And they can get that one. We'll blow it, and then they can get that one. Okay. Right on. Yeah, and we could think about putting some more water wheels in here, as a commenter suggested. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of worth doing. Sort of worth doing. It's just like our wet seasons are so short. I don't really like to rely on much power generation from wet seasons for that reason. Like, I'm fine putting these in because the bad tides are much longer, even if they're less frequent. You could argue that it makes more sense to do this. We might, but we want to get this dynamited down. We want to get these channels connected right here so that we can have access to pump more, access to pump this water. And keeping this irrigated is, you know, a bit of a problem, because this, once it gets down below one tile, don't believe it'll irrigate everything anymore. Speaking of which, we can blast this down as well. That's another thing. They've got so much work to do. Let's not worry about that. We're starting to do this. We need, actually, we're already halfway there with the gears. More than halfway there with the gears. That is encouraging. We got 3 gear workshops. We're working. How are we doing on our planks? We're getting low on planks now. I may need another plank factory to keep this plank production going. 3 gears are using planks. This guy is not using planks because he's done. I think we can pause you guys. Well, he was already paused, right? Okay. Yeah, we did just spend a whole bunch of planks over here. So do we need another plank workshop or a plank, what, a lumber mill? Yeah. It's gonna mess up our power. We've got more power there. Boy. Let's put in a couple log piles for this power over here. So that it's easier for them to keep these topped up, theoretically. Yeah, alright. More planks. Cool. And we don't need more power at the moment. Got a drought coming. Why? Wait, what has gone wrong? Why aren't you pumping anymore? Should be pumping. Is this above 1% contamination? Just be open? Yeah, oh man, that was a screw up. Yeah, that's annoying. That's why we want to get man. I think with 3 days, we should fill this up enough. But that was a mistake. So it's probably time to start planning our aqueduct over here. I'm just trying to decide if I want to raise this up yet another tile. But I think as we discussed, 2 tiles is fine for the length of droughts we'll have. Right? Did the math, because if it's evaporating at 0.045 per day, our max drought is 30 days, right? I might be wrong about that as well. But it's definitely not longer than 40. So 1.9 tiles divided by 0.045 per day, that gets us 42 days. So 2 high is just fine in here until, yeah. And we need to come up. Yeah, I think I'll plan the dam, or plan the aqueduct and get this sorted for bad tides next episode, because I have some planning to do about how we're gonna get across with the bad water. Gotta kind of figure out a design for that. And everything feels like it's going kind of slowly. It's probably, yeah, it's because they're focused on this, which is good. This gives us way more space than this does. So it's fine for them to focus on that. And we're doing well in our gears. It would be awesome to see this in action by the end of the episode. Smelter's still going. You're still gathering. We've got plenty of scrap. And we're gonna need a new source of scrap metal pretty soon. Pretty soon. There's this right here. That's not too tough to get to. There's the, oh yeah, we're doing that one. Where there's that over there. Yeah, there's still a lot of scrap metal left on the map. So we don't need to worry about a mine yet. It'd be great to have bots in before we do mines. How did you get to this one? Oh, you came up here, huh? Okay. Okay. Far be it for me to tell you how to do your job. Oh no. Okay, our drought has started. We could turn off this. I don't want to, because I'm gonna forget to turn it back on, possibly. And where did we get up to here? We got up to 1.32 for a 26-day drought. Wow. Okay, 1.3 divided by 0.045. 28 days worth of water in there. Okay, we have enough, even with our little screw up. That's good news. That's a long drought, man. That is a really long one. Okay, we are not capped out on our dynamite, not capped out on the extract. We're probably... we have a little bit of bad water. Probably worth storing more. But I don't want to worry about that until we get this next bad water extraction area set up here. All right, well, I think that's a good place to end the episode. We are working on the bad water discharge. We got a number cruncher in, which is great. We've got more industry. We linked all of our power network together. We did not get this modification done, but it'll get done in the next episode. Got some power in for the bad tides. Yeah, we're moving along. Things are getting going. Our science is looking healthy. And our population's climbing. So things are looking good. Thanks again so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. A subscription would be awesome. It's free, so, you know, just helps me out, helps me continue to produce content, and it would be awesome to get to 500 subscribers. Then I could start making a little bit of money off of this channel, which would be cool. And I think if I do get 500 subscribers, I will do a live stream. So that will be the goal, 500 subscribers, and then we'll get a live stream. Probably not this playthrough. You guys can tell me if there's another game you want to see me play on the live stream. I was looking at Coal LLC. That looked kind of fun. So maybe that'll be a live stream game, or maybe a different map in Timberborn. So yeah, please subscribe, leave a like, leave me a comment if there's something you want to tell me, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.